Welcome to the demo of the Zopache Integrated Development Environment. It would be good if you have already seen the video of the ZODB, the graph database for Python developers, but if not, you should still be able to follow along. So developing in Zopache IDE is a little bit like developing on a file system, but it's also significantly different. Unix file systems give you a tree of files with applications that edit those files. The Zopache gives you a tree or a graph of objects with views on those objects. So let's navigate around the tree first. Let's click into this folder, and you can see we're one level down. Let's take a look at the breadcrumbs root folder. We can add stuff. That's the first piece in CRUD, is to add stuff. We'll add a container. We'll add a container called new folder. And you can see we're at root folder, new folder. So it's very easy to create trees of containers, much like in Unix, it's easy to create a tree of directories, but significantly different also. We'll see more in a few minutes. So we can add all kinds of different objects here. We can add CSS, HTML, with containers we just saw, ACE HTML. These are restricted to the more technical ACE editor, JavaScript folders, and Python functions. Let's start off by taking a look at an HTML object. Folder source. So here we have the CK WYSIWYG editor. And it's very easy to make it bold or italic or strike through or all kinds of different options. Lots of options, make it a bigger font size. This is a WYSIWYG editor, and it's really easy to do a lot of stuff, but there's some technical things you can't do. So on the generic HTML objects, we can do that, but we can also use a more technical editor. So the nice thing about this is it also has syntax checking. And as soon as you make a mistake, it gives you a warning. Gives you an information that something is wrong. There we go. Where we have a nice warning. Okay, so let's go back up to the root folder. That's the HTML object. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to show you a few more things on it. So what can we do this? We can do the ACE edit, which is the technical editor, CK editor, which is the WYSIWYG editor. We can delete it. That gives you a nice confirmation option. We can display it, edit it. We can take a look at the HTML source. We can take a look at the history. We'll take a look at that later, and we can view it. So lots of things we can do with these objects. Let's go back up to the root. Lots of different views on the objects. Let's take a look next at the CSS objects. That's a very important part. And again, it's a syntax checking. So as soon as you put in too many commas, it tells you, okay, we're not going to make that mistake. If only it could tell me how to make my websites look better too, that would be good. Let's take a look at CSS. Next we have JavaScript folders. So the nature of the HTTP protocol is it's much more efficient if you just have a single file that you serve with JavaScript in it. So people build these enormous files, and it's difficult to find anything. What I do here is I create a tree of objects which can contain JavaScript code, one or more JavaScript functions and variable definitions. And you can see at the top level where we are. You can click into the other functions. Again, it's a syntax checking. It tells me when I've done something wrong. Let's see, we can go back up to JavaScript folder. And we can view the JavaScript. So we can see all the functions, one in the root folder and one in the other two folders. They all served as a single file. And what else can we do? We can search this page. So if you have a big tree, like I do in some of my other applications, if you have a big tree and a whole tree, then you display them all here on the single page, and then it's really easy to search and click into them. So again, we have multiple views. We can ACE edit, we can delete it, we'll display it, edit it, history, view, manage. And of course, this is not only an HTML folder, it's not only a JavaScript folder, it's also a regular folder. And so we get the regular functionality. We'll cut, copy, paste, so we can move stuff around very easily. Let us show you some more functionality. So we can copy stuff. We can rename stuff. Let's copy it first. Folder. We can paste it. We can rename it JavaScript folder 2. If we want, we can copy all of these objects. And now when we paste them, they all get the new numbers, so that you don't get two things with the same name. Okay, so we've seen the JavaScript integrated in development environment. It supports basic CRUD. It supports CRUD. The first thing in CRUD is you can add all these different content types. You can edit them. You can view them. You can delete them. It also supports this extended CRUD, so you can rename, cut, copy, delete many of them at the same time. And then the last thing I'll show you is kind of magical, is the history view. So ZODB is a version database. It carries around historic views, and that's really good when you're editing text, because you always made a change, you want to go back, or particularly HTML or technical CSS. You try something, it doesn't work, you want to go back. So I'm going to show you that the history view on this homepage, because it's not just a container, it's actually an HTML container, and you can display these HTML containers, unlike a Unix file system. And so I actually had my marketing guy, I asked him to create some marketing content. I haven't seen it yet, but let's see what he came up with. Let's take a look at this page. So Apache is brilliant. You should be using it. The whole world should be using it. No, this is way over the top. I don't like this at all. I should fire this guy. But fortunately, I have history. So it's very easy to go into the management view, go into the history view, and I can see all the different versions. I think these versions must be the ones he created. I think this one must be the original version. Yeah, okay, that's the one I did. So let's back up and let's restore it. You can see we have one more version now. And now when I view it, okay, that's the version I had. Okay, back to the manage view. Okay, so we have add, we can add all these different objects, we can edit, display, view them. We have the advanced CRUD, extended CRUD, we rename, cut, copy, paste, delete. That's the Zopache integrated development environment for you. I invite you to take a closer look at it. So if you have any questions, I invite you to contact me. Go to pythonlinks.info/contact. Thank you.